No horn, this is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to complete a game of chimps on Cornfield without moving any of the corn on the field. But can we also do this while getting the access of spikes? And yeah, we have to only go up to spiked mines because that's a bit too expensive for our books. Our financial books. Our usual standard setup for one of these runs is an engineer and a dart monkey. Primarily the engineer on strong so that he's always targeting the strongest most balloon in his attack range. But you notice we're going with Striker Jones, and we're also going to go with the Lord of the Abyss to help us out because we want as much passive benefit increase to our PS for our spikes so that we can pop as many of them as we possibly can. That's the idea anyways, but can we get through this little ordeal? That's looking like an increasing... oh, we managed to do it, lovely! We'll be able to get plus 25% pierce with the presence of Striker Jones, and then plus 40% pierce from the Lord of the Abyss. From the base value of the amount of pierce that each spike battery has nearby both of them. Speaking of Striker Jones, let's get him down onto the field. And another thing about Striker Jones that makes him a good hero for this adventure is his concussive shell ability, which will enable the Merle class balloons to just last for a bit longer. We can get a fair few more spike piles added over in this region. Obviously a lot of them will expire and our top path mines will just explode automatically. Round 15 though, this is going to be the big round here. Can we get through this round? I'm hoping to concuss you just to make our Avenger just a tad bit easier. And that's that. Get ourselves a spike factory over here. And this one's going to be our Perma-Spike because you're going to be at the very back of the track. Will these spikes hold? I hope so. Let's go up to smart spikes, put you on smart. And once we get the money, we'll get the bigger stacks. Although at the moment, this is looking quite precarious when it comes to the amount of spike piles that we have. That should secure our rear flanks a bit easier there. We just lack a lot of firepower at the beginning of the track. Yeah, we definitely need more firepower here. Faster engineering. Engineer, thank you. Rather than going up towards sprockets or the cleansing foam, we're going to go with double gun. Just so that we have a little bit of early firepower with our sentries. Nowadays, the sentries can fire two nails out of their sentries if you get the double gun upgrade, which is really nice. Although it doesn't work immediately, it only works on newly spawned sentries. We'll get ourselves a second spike factory. This one's going to be our carpet of spikes, and the one up here is going to be our spiked mines. Again, super mines is just too expensive, so when anybody does like a axis of spike factory scenario, you just know that you go up to a certain point. If you try and get this in chimps, I'm sorry, I'm not Chom Chom who can do that on Infernal. Yeah, he is far better at this game than I could ever be. Whatever I can do, he could probably do with ease. Anyways, round 35 done. Okay, round 36 upcoming. Let's get ourselves the white hot spikes on this one here, just so that we can punch through those lead balloons a bit easier. If we get as many things as possible, being able to punch through lead balloons. And the carpet spikes is going to be a key component against DDTs. I don't know why, but PS benefits just feel that bit more impactful on spike factories than other towers. Especially like the middle cross path, because it just sprays throughout the entire track. So therefore you're getting that plus 10% pierce, or plus 20% pierce, or plus 25% pierce, or plus 40% pierce, or plus however many more percentage of a pierce to those spikes, and therefore you're able to punch you through that many more balloons. Not that many more layers of balloons, just that many more balloons in general. We'll go up to spiked mines first before any of the other two. Number one, it's the cheapest, and number two, we need some sort of super effective damage against ceramic balloons. It's been quite a while now since update 47 has released, along with the Rogue Legends DLC. Oh, That's not looking good at all. Maybe we need to do some concussive shell action over here. Just so that they're a little bit more paused over there. Okay, that seems to have holden the line. I want spiked mines first before anything else. But if our progress is halted here, then there's going to be a bit of a problem going forward in the future. So we've had the Rogue Legends DLC for a few weeks now. Now, what I want to do today is have a bit of a discussion as to like your thoughts and views on the Rogue Legends DLC itself. Obviously, it's still in a bit of early days, like there's still a lot of things that Ninja Kiwi can do to flesh out the Rogue Legends DLC to make it feel more roguelike, or to make it feel like that each experience is not as time consuming. I mean, it was definitely more time consuming at the beginning of the update than it is now, where it feels like the depreciation rate is still even worse. But the amount of rounds that you actually do throughout your entire run is less than it was before. But it just feels like starting at a later point in the game, it's along with the same amount of money, it's a bit crippling, especially when you mentor your towers so that they are able to be stronger when you place them down, but obviously they're more expensive to place down in the first place, so you'd rather stick with just tier 3 towers, or in some cases some cheap tier 4 towers, so that on the first balloon encounter on a new stage, you're able to place down towers. And we'll get you up to deadly spikes now. I feel like that's a good point now that we've got the Abyssal Warrior up online, giving us that plus 20% pierce, and you're level 10 and your pierce increase was level 8. Okay, so we've got, I don't think it's about 45% extra pierce, but it's just the base value of that tower. So let's say if your base pierce was 10 and you give it a plus 20% increase, therefore that is 12 pierce, but you don't accumulate another like 25%, and that adds on to a new value. Everything works off from the base value of that tower rather than accumulative. It's it all adds on independently, and that is the total result. So it might look like it will be up to 65% additional pierce, but I think it might be either a bit less than that or a bit more than that, because everything like external buff wise works from the base value of the tower, and we'll get Spike Storm as well. One future artifact which I think could be a very cool as like an incentivization for players to actually buy the Rogue Legends, because not a huge amount of players have purchased it as far as I know. I'm not too sure where I got their data from, but it's like Rogue Legends is not hugely positive by people, and I think one artifact that could redeem it a little bit is an artifact that enables a tower to go through both of its cross pathing. So let's say, for example, if we have the, let's say Spike Storm, for example, we'll be able to have a 242 Spike Storm factory where you're able to put a point on the track, you're able to use your ability, each of your spikes has more pierce, and then other towers as well, let's say with the biggest one, 522, be able to fire really fast along with having burning stuff damage, and the increased accuracy at that point doesn't really matter because of how big the explosive radius is. But I think an artifact that enables both cross-pathing could be a good idea. I'm not saying it is a groundbreaking idea, but it could be a good idea if players hear about from Bloons tubers that, hey, there is now a way to be able to use both of your cross-pathings, and it's only something that you can access in Rogue Legends or in one of the other Legends DLCs which Ninja Kiwi has planned. I think there's at least 2 other ones coming out. One of them has a fishing game. We could actually stall for time so that we have even more deadly spikes out by just using I don't know why I was about to call you Geraldo there. Using Jones's concussive shell ability. Also at the beginning of the round, it enables us to deploy more spiked mines, be able to enable us to deal with a fair few more ceramics on the inside of the balloons. And if you find a strategy in Rogue Legends that really works for you, then is there really an incentive to try some other strategy that may not even work? Because I really like the combination of regular Brickle alongside having the full broadside artifact with the stacking ability one, which enables you to have more abilities. So therefore, rather than having just one in stock, you can have like up to 4, I think it is, but at the cost of 20% ability increase time in order to get a ability back, with the exception of Psi. And then the third artifact could be something else, but like the corrosive sub one, which enables when a submarine hits a balloon, it gives a glue effect on it. So it's either the dissolver, the liquefier, or the solver, or divine intervention. You can't go wrong with divine intervention. In regular game of balloons, you always want to use your monkey farms to be able to grant you additional income. But in Rogue Legends, I feel like farms are just nearly completely obsolete. Like, you probably use the middle cross path for granting you a little bit of money and then sell it. But you really want to utilize rubber to gold, you want to utilize your balloon traps or your XXXL trap, because there's so many leads in Rogue Legends, which means you can get so many plus 50s from all of those leads by using a lead to gold alchemist. Also think in Rogue Legends, the merchantmen are just not that necessary really. Like, you just want to hone in on your balloon related income, rather than your end of round or your fixed. Oh my god, that's a lot of them that just went there. Perma-Spike! I should have picked it up at the end of the last round. Or what could be even more OP outside of having both cross paths enabled is for your other cross path, which you've only gone up to tier 2, you could go up to tier 3. So you could have a sentry champion that also fires out foams, which would be pretty nasty. Every tower can receive the Archmage treatment. And there goes the camo ceramics, just like that. Our next ordeal is to get the Carpet of Spikes, and then from there, Lord of the Abyss. And then we'll see how we go from there as terms of money. Probably a few stronger stimulants just to increase restraint for our spike factories, or get a glue strike to increase the amount of damage that our spikes do by 2. Even though that's not a huge amount, think of the amount of spikes that a Carpet of Spikes throws out. That's actually quite a big amount of damage increase. As we concussive this ZMG more, the many more Perma-Spikes we can lay down on the end of the track, my strategy is foolproof. You can also try and do this challenge with Pat as well to increase the damage temporarily of your spike factories with a rally and roar ability. And then there's also Pat slaps as well, which enables him to knock back Mire classmates, but also knock them out if he does enough damage. With concussive shells, you can even use more than one spike storm ability per round. And this takes a very long time to come back. From my experience, it feels like it takes an eternity. Every time I get the spike storm ability back, it feels like I've grown an extra wrinkle on my forehead. Okay, maybe that's not necessarily true, but it just feels like it. And there goes the rest of round 83. Lovely. The run is going incredibly well so far. We almost had that one hiccup actually, but so far, I think as far as I remember, this is a flawless run. Or maybe I've lost in one round and I've forgotten actually. I'm not too sure now, but this has been a very, very good run so far. Sometimes I usually have runs where I've taken multiple attempts to get to this point, but this is going very well. Very well. And we are 5k away from the Carpet of... No. 7k away from the Carpet of Spikes. I'm sorry. It used to be much cheaper. 0MG's going down. The first one went down no problem, but the second one does rely on the Perma-Spike at the end of the track here, but that is the exact reason why we have the Perma-Spike upgraded first out of the tier 5s, because it provides that bit of a flank guard, if you get what I mean. It covers our flanks That's its purpose, to catch out the stragglers that escaped your other towers. Although, this thing has definitely remained unchanged, and Ninja Kiri likes to emphasize that with each update for the past few updates, the Perma-Spike has remained unchanged. First the OMG going down. Hopefully the second one will go down just as quickly. Yeah, they're taking their time now when it comes to their deconstruction. Perhaps that would have been a handy trait for our engineer, but nonetheless. Oh gosh, they're getting very close to the Perma-Spike. Oh, that is a lot of pops. That's a lot of spike piles taken away. But again, we are so close now to the carpet of spikes. I can almost taste it. Spike storm ability, get them downgraded a bit more, and now we have the carpet of spikes. DDTs, you are now officially screwed. I've only just noticed with the carpet of spikes sprite, and also the in-game model, is that they have a swirl inside of them. I wonder if in Australia they swirl the inverted way around. Design stuff. Okay, round 19. Yeah, DDTs just did not stand a chance there. Also, when you upgrade a carpet of spikes, each spike pile gets even more pierce than usual, which is good. North is south, south is north, east is west, west is east. I don't know. I just mean that if you're on the opposite side of a world, then things that should be north are south, or things that should be south are north. If north is west, then you may need to see somebody. Nothing like stalling the opposition. Okay, round 93. What can we do against this round? The same as every other round. DDTs. That was 6 DDTs. And some of them were kind of taken away by the fortified BFBs there, but we still did really well. Goes to show that PS buffs for your carpet spikes goes a long way. PS is very important alongside raw damage. You could have all the raw damage in the world, but if your PS is only 1, then what can you do against all of those little things inside the big target? Not a good deal. That's why in a regular game of chimps, you want something that is very good against the masses, and something that does a lot of single target damage. It gets all of your fronts covered. Here we go, round 95. Very close now to the Lord of the Abyss, which means an even bigger pierce increase for all of our spike factories here. And this little engineer, and Striker Jones. This has been a good starting tower. You've been a very good hero. And you're just relaxing here, really. You're just chilling out, helping out our Perma-Spike when needed. I don't mean to click escape there. Everybody has their roles in this game, even if that purpose has now been nullified. I forgot Lord of the Abyss, I can now get it. I can now get the little upgrade that I keep talking about but refuse to get. Okay. What can I do here now? I'm thinking a glue strike. Get that damage buff going by +2. Should I use it now? Yeah, we use it now. This one, that downgraded extremely quickly. That was brilliant. And I think probably either we're going to get a Moab glue or a relentless glue. Probably just stick with a Moab glue, to be honest. And there goes round 97. Brilliant. Round 98. Get a Moab glue. Might have enough money in order to get a few stronger stimulants. 4.5k. It's going to be tight on money, but I think we could get 2 stronger stimulant alchemists up and running. Okay, glue strike and then spike storm ability. Some of the back ones went away very quickly, which is really nice. Okay, need all of these to comply. Compliance is definitely needed here. This is not plaguing, but you get what I mean. Okay, so Perma-Spike, you are my only hope. Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope. Actually, you don't even need the alchemist. We don't need the alchemist. Fine, we'll get that instead, actually. And that just leaves for bad here. It just doesn't stand a chance, really. Thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. Hope you will enjoy this video. Let me know what you thought about the video down in the comments sections below. Get you all stunned and dusted and all that jazz. Largely, well, we got ourselves a money-making sort of tower here. Would this actually be any good in Rogue Legends? Unless you can infinitely stall around so that you can get the maximum amount of abilities off, and then the ability naturally goes away. I don't know, really. I don't know about that factor. We got a lot of... I think that was definitely round 76 that caused that. Also, maybe round 79 for the increased total damage. If you don't pop the regrow balloons fast enough, they will regrow back. And in greater numbers. They are essentially Tusken Raiders. If you don't take them out now, they'll come back and in greater numbers. But there we go, everybody. That was the Axis of Spike scenario with some very good pierce buffs. I was supposed to say permanently, but passively, not relying on like quarter arms or homeland defense of a PS buff. It's just a flat out PS increase, which was really nice. So combining Striker Jones and Lord of the Abyss with the Spike Factories, and you get yourself some pretty nice PS buffs to all of the spike piles, which I think is a very good strategy, as you saw right there. But thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and take care of yourselves.